Hi everybody! Thanks for stopping by to check out the latest from Sailing Emerald Steel. In this video, which is part 3 of our series, The Times Are Changing, we're going to be sharing with you the differences between sailing in Hawaii now and in the past. Before we get started, we'd like to thank all of you once again for all your great comments on our last video and the thumbs up. Really appreciate it, guys.
Last night about 8 p.m. we left boat rooms to pick up a light northeasterly trade winds. But by about 2 o'clock in the morning, the winds raised up to about 25 knots.
We're sailing towards Hawaii and wondering what has changed since the last time we visited. Every time we return, there are always more rules and regulations to contend with. Hawaii was the first landfall on our maiden voyage almost 30 years ago. One thing that hasn't changed is the consistency of the trade winds, which we rely on to make a good passage. What a feeling it was to make our first landfall after being at sea for 3 weeks. Although it was a beautiful passage, we couldn't wait to get ashore and start exploring. We entered Radio Bay and Hilo Harbor and checked in with customs. That was the extent of the rules and regulations at the time. After exploring the Big Island for 2 weeks, we were ready to go check out the other islands. We dropped anchor in Lahaina Maui, which used to be a whaling port. And after checking out the town, we realized it was the perfect place to stay for a while. It had plenty of jobs available, lots of things to do, crystal clear waters with amazing wildlife, sea turtles, humpback whales, tropical fish, and a fairly decent anchorage, and friendly people. But more than anything, no rules and regulations concerning anchoring. Many cruisers came here to resupply, and some chose to stay to build up their cruising funds before continuing onward. So this time when we arrived in Lahaina, the anchorage was quite lively with a gale blowing. We waited for 2 days before going ashore, and what a surprise we got. A local Kanaka man, instead of giving us an aloha with a smiling face, looked at us sternly and asked us if we'd registered. Then he explained to us that all boats must register, as there was now an anchoring fee, a live-aboard fee, and a maximum stay of 3 months in any one location. Where were the days when we first came to Hawaii and were welcomed with a bag of mangoes, papayas, and a big smile? As for fees, what do you get for it? Not even entry into the harbor, but using your own anchor gear in the open roadstead with no protection at all. We're just about to round the buoys, entry buoys into Kona Kakai Harbor. There would be more surprises awaiting us. After leaving Lahaina, we stopped at Kona Kakai Harbor in Molokai. We'd only planned to stay there a few days, so we didn't bother going to see the harbor master. When we got ready to leave, we were delayed by a tugboat bringing the supply barge into the harbor, which brought back some old memories of the time we were anchored here many years ago. We had to move in a hurry to make room for the barge's maneuvers, and we forgot to open the cooling water seacock, and naturally we burnt up our impeller, and didn't have a spare one either, so we were without the use of our engine. Our next stop was Lono Harbor, a few miles north of Kona Kakai. It's an abandoned barge harbor, but it was a very nice and secluded spot to visit. We stayed there for a few days as well before leaving for Kaneohe Bay in Oahu, where we planned on spending the winter.
I'll go for a walk, go up there to the top to see if you can get a telephone signal and maybe internet.
Crossing the Kaiwi Channel between Oahu and Molokai. Surprisingly, not much wind that day. Approaching Kaneohe Bay, the northeast side of Oahu. It's a beautiful, dramatic landscape. We're just entering Kaneohe Bay. It's a little bit of the scenery here. Chinaman's Hat. We decided to make Kaneohe Bay our winter anchorage, as it's protected from the southern storms, or konas as they're called, and is protected by a reef as well. After dropping anchor in this beautiful, picturesque spot, Jules went to see the harbor master. Our boat is way back here in the anchorage. You see it back there? We've got to navigate in between a couple of reefs. And there's my chauffeur.
Once we anchor, we went to see a harbor master. Once I start talking to harbor master, I show him my documentation papers, my passport. I say I would like to get a permit because we're planning to stay down there for a longer time. He looked at my papers, then he went look at the computer, and after a while he turned to me and he says, "Oh, you stopped on the Kakai and you didn't register." And then he said, "You also stopped in the Lono." I could not believe, and what the hell, they do have a drones or something, people watching the people, they know exactly every step. I mean, it just was unbelievable. I explained to him that we stopped in Kona Kakai actually because of bad weather, so we waited for a few days till weather cleared up. Same in Lono. In the process in Lono there is no place to check in, which he told me then I should have to check in Kona Kakai and let them know I want to stop in Lono too. So we were very, very surprised. And before he gave me a permit, he told me I also have to show him insurance for our boat. Not so much insurance for your boat, but has a liability which would be payable to the state of Hawaii. I believe it was like $300,000. So we were shocked with all these rules and regulations. Kaneohe Bay is very beautiful, large bay, has a beautiful places to anchor. But guess what? Even if you get a permit, you're not getting permit for all bay. You get a permit in a designated area, so you pretty much have to anchor between a bunch of boaters. And when you come into a harbor, to a launching place, it is actually pretty long distance to a town, so you have to pick up a bus every time you want to go there. And luckily we made some friends out there, we got some jobs, and then we got a permission from the people to leave our dinghy at their dock. So by doing that we were walking distance into a downtown of Kaneohe Bay. Actually, that's one of the bad things about Kaneohe Bay is that there's very little access to shore. It's a huge, huge bay. But it's very hard to get access to shore. So like he said, there's just the one area over by the harbor master's office, which is quite far from town, and we were lucky to meet some people. Also, Kaneohe Bay has a very beautiful place called a sandbar. Well, we just pulled in for a weekend at the sandbar in Kaneohe Bay. Julius and Brand are just setting our anchor out there. Just pull right up to the sandbar, and then we drop our anchor. And then you just set it up there in ankle deep water, and you just step ashore. And it's an unbelievable nice place to anchor right in front of it. In a high tide you only have a couple of feet of water over it, in a low tide it's half of it exposed, but even there you can only anchor on a weekend, you cannot anchor during the week. So so much for rules and regulations. Overall though, Hawaii, the people are very, very nice. We met some people there that will be friends for life. Can you imagine, you go to Hawaii, now you have to pay the fees, you have to get a permit, you have to have insurance, but you still cannot anchor as you please. You have to be herd like a cattle into a pen. Pokai Bay is a very pretty harbor. It was actually nice to go someplace that wasn't so touristy and you get much more feeling of being in Hawaii. It actually was invaded by the local, which would be very enjoyable. Very friendly, fun-loving people. So the days are gone when you could just drop your anchor wherever.
and the only thing you had to worry about was a change in the weather. Today, with all the rules and regulations, cruising in Hawaii is not as free and enjoyable as it once was.
Okay, jump off.
Oh, damn!
Okay guys, so I guess that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video and got something out of it. And if you did, don't forget to leave a comment and a thumb up. We love hearing from all you guys. I'd like to thank all the people that support our channel through Patreon and PayPal. We really appreciate your support, guys, and we will see you all next time.
Bye-bye.